Welcome. Welcome everyone to the second annual Louisiana International Trade Gala, presented by the World Trade Center of New Orleans. Please stand for the presentation of the colors. The colors are presented tonight by the Louisiana Army National Guard Youth Challenge Program. Following the presentation of the colors, please remain standing for tonight's invocation by Father Lawrence W. Moore.
Left turn, march, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Colors, halt, present, arms. Right turn, march, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Forward, march, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4.
The most common name of the church to which I belong is Catholic. The Greek words kata and holos mean completely whole. In other words, the entire world. In the past several centuries, the Catholic Church has come to reflect its name better, as the Catholic Church has become established in Asia and Africa. As we celebrate tonight the Louisiana International Trade Gala, we celebrate not only the financial impact of trade from and to Louisiana, but also the growing bonds that draw diverse people together on many different levels. In no time in human history has so much trade become so Catholic with a lowercase c. The second piece to which I wish to draw your attention is the Jesuit missionary tradition. At its best, Jesuit missionaries learned a culture thoroughly, its language, its customs, before attempting to evangelize. May I suggest to you there is a lesson for you in the tradition of building enduring international trading relationships. For a trading relationship to endure over time and to prosper, it must be based upon a deeper understanding of the trading partner's culture. Let us pray. Good and gracious God, we ask that you bless us this evening. We are grateful for all your gifts to us. As we share food and wine and friendship, we ask to aspire to build enduring relationships with our trading partners based upon mutual understanding of our cultures. We ask you to bless those who grew the food we are about to eat, those who cooked it, and those who are serving it. May we be mindful of those who have less than we have. Amen.
Please be seated. Thank you, Father Moore, for those great words. Thank you. On behalf of the World Trade Center, thank each of you for taking valuable time out of your schedules, especially a weekend with an LSU game, to join us tonight in celebration of the international trade in Louisiana. My name is David Kearney, and I'm currently the chair of the World Trade Center Board of Directors. I have the honor and privilege as serving as tonight's Master of Ceremonies. I also have the honor and privilege of celebrating with you tonight as we reflect on the many achievements that we have made as a vibrant and growing trade community here in Louisiana. Indeed, we have a lot to be proud of. Together, we're part of the success that Louisiana is seeing on a world stage as a leading player in international trade development. Congratulations to each of you for playing a role in this success. I'm always in awe of this venue and the backdrop in history that serves as a reminder of where we have come as a global trade community. It's out of the ashes of World War II that the world began to trade again. It's only fitting that we have this event here and remind ourselves of the progress that's been made and of the progress that's yet to be made. At this time, we'd like to recognize our special guests and honor our elected officials, the Consular Corps members, and our special sponsors and Gala committee members. But before that, I ask you to please enjoy your salad. Please eat and drink. This is a celebration, and we'll get through a whole bunch of program items while you enjoy your meal. So go ahead and get started. First and foremost, I'd like to take this time to welcome U.S. Congressman Dr. Charles Boustany and his family. Congressman, we're honored to be able to present you with the Eugene Schreiber Award later in the program. And as we all know, Eddie Hayes will have a lot to say about that. On a personal note, I want to thank you for all that you have done with your trade efforts in Washington. We thank you for your leadership, your service to our community here in Louisiana. And many of us may not be in your district, but what you've done has made a difference, and it really means a lot for us and for our companies and jobs in our community. We thank you. We'd also like to thank all of our sponsors tonight for making this special event possible. It's your generosity and financial commitment that allows the World Trade Center to support our mission. Please join me in a round of applause tonight to thank our global sponsors, Chevron Corporation and Cheniere Energy. This program would not be possible without your generous support. Thank you. Thank you to our continental sponsors, First NBC Bank, Iberia Bank, and Ochsner. And we'd also like to thank the largest tonnage port in the Western Hemisphere, the Port of South Louisiana, for sponsoring tonight's cocktail reception. Although a little cold, thanks for your sponsorship. It was great. Thank you. Think about that statistic, the largest tonnage port in the Western Hemisphere. That's not measured on cargo value, it's measured on tons, and that's pretty unbelievable. There are many other companies and individuals listed in your program that have generously supported tonight's event, please thank their representatives. If you're at one of their tables or later on the dance floor, please thank them, because without their generosity, we would not be here. The World Trade Center of New Orleans would also like to take this opportunity to recognize members of the Louisiana Consular Corps. Behind me, you'll see 56 flags representing 56 countries that have representation in Louisiana with an honorary consul or a full consulate. Tonight with us, and if I accidentally leave someone off, please stand to be recognized if you're an honorary consul person. Honorary Councilman Paul Anderson, Honorary Consul of Germany. The Honorary Greg Bierman, Honorary Consul of Iceland. The Honorable Patricia Denishow, Honorary Consul of Canada. The Honorable Eddie Hayes, Honorable Consul to the Ukraine. The Honorable David Schulenkamp, Honorary Consul to Brazil. The Honorable Jim Sutterfield, Honorary Consul to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Honorable Connie Willems, Honorary Consul to the Netherlands. I'd also like to ask our past presidents from the World Trade Center, and Jacqueline Clarkson, Honorary Consul to Lithuania, and former City Council member. Sorry, Jackie. I'd also like to make sure that we recognize our past presidents. Bobby Brannon, Patricia Denishow, Charles Nelson, John Oshner, and Connie Willems. Please give them a round of applause. I'd like to acknowledge the Gala committee, who, believe me, put in a lot of hours to put this together. And along with the World Trade Center staff and the NOCCI staff, I want to thank them for their work tonight. Specifically, Tom Spears, Shelby Westfelt Mills, Eddie Hayes, Sakari Morrison, Eliza Briere, Jessica Steverson, Brianna Bell, and Dottie Boletto. You guys have all put in a tremendous effort. Thank you. The World Trade Center Board of Directors, please stand. Billy App, our Transportation Committee Chair. Larry Boudreau, our Finance Committee Chair. Robbie Evans, International Business Committee Chair. David Finley. The Honorable Eddie Hayes, Government Affairs Chair. Jerry Hingle, Agriculture Committee. John Kazor, Gary Lagrange. Shelby Westfelt Mills, our Gala Committee Chair, Tom Spears, Sakari Morrison, Marty Quist, Charles Smith, Lisette Terrell, Robert Vorhoff, Mike Olivier, Scott Howard, Bobby Brannon, and Karada Giacona, who's also responsible for our advisory board. Thank you all. Now, if it suddenly dawns on you tonight, and it might be later after a couple of glasses of wine or a whiskey, that you as an individual or as a company want to add to your World Trade Center membership, the board members that I just introduced are our ambassadors. So grab one of them and ask them how to join or how to maximize your membership. I've been training them for a year, so I'm very curious to see how this works out. But they all deserve a thanks, and believe me, they can tell you all that we're doing from a personal perspective. So please get involved. That's the main thing. We want everyone to have a great time tonight, network, and really enjoy this community that we have as a World Trade Center. At this time, I'd like to introduce my colleague and good friend, the CEO of the World Trade Center, Mr. Dominic Knoll. Dominic has served as Chief Executive Officer for the World Trade Center of New Orleans since 2010. In the last 4 years, in his capacity as CEO, Dominic has worked diligently to ensure that international trade remains strong in the state of Louisiana. And he's worked to ensure that the World Trade Center remains right in the middle of any trade activity in our community. And I like to say that the World Trade Center is an incubator of international entrepreneurship right now. Under Dominic's leadership, we've embarked on many new ventures, like our Executive Speaker Series, our Trade Services Department. We've launched the New Orleans Arbitration Center. We've formed a partnership with the Department of Energy on global hydrogen initiatives. And we formed a Mississippi River Alliance that unites 10 states within the Mississippi River Basin to promote various international trade activities that use the waterway. With that, tonight, it's my great pleasure to welcome to the stage Mr. Dominic Knoll.
Thank you so much, David. You stole my thunder, but I hope that's okay. No, thank you so much, David. I'm very excited to be here this evening, and it's my distinct honor again and privilege to welcome everyone here tonight on this very special day one more time. Please let me personally thank you for joining us here in the second year of our Louisiana International Trade Gala. I would also like to thank David, the board of directors who we already heard, and the Gala committee, but also I would like, or it goes without saying that I would like to thank the World Trade Center team who is here tonight. So please stand, if you guys would stand up, everyone who's at the World Trade Center. Let's give them a round of applause. We got more? Where are you? All right. Thank you. Through the year, we at the World Trade Center work on many initiatives, projects, programs, as well as with many local, national, or international organizations to positively benefit the outcome of our members and state. But no other event is that special for us as this gala. For us, it is the highlight of the year, not only because we can thank all of you for your hard work and involvement throughout the year, giving awards to someone who truly deserves it, as well as celebrating the success of our great industry. But near all of that, it is because I feel that we are celebrating amongst friends. When I look around, and before when I mingled around, I see many familiar faces. I don't know every single one of you guys, but I want to know that we're connected in the one or other way to each other, all of us. We're friends who share the same interests, thoughts, emotions, commitment to our state and our nation. I think that is what makes this night so very special. Our gala tonight is also a great opportunity to celebrate Louisiana's tremendous economic success. Everyone in this room should be proud of themselves. Every one of you has contributed and really make us one more time an important export center in the United States. Not this year, not last year, but over and over again. Congratulations. Let's give us a hand of applause. Our region, as you know, is right now one of the hottest regions in America. Because of our resources and our collaborations, we are experiencing record results in economic development as well as international trade. Our excellent river system with our 5 deepwater ports, one having here with us tonight, as well as the Port of New Orleans as well, who forms the largest port complex in the world, certainly plays a big part of it. But I don't have to tell you that because I rather have to thank you. You're the ones generating this favorable business climate, handling the cargo or working on generating future business throughout the world. We here at the World Trade Center only do whatever we can to assist you in making your business as well as the state as strong as it is right now and for the future generations to come, really. So no matter where you go in the state currently, you will hear very similar positive stories. You hear about record growth, you're going to hear about large foreign direct investments coming in, as well as new businesses created, new tech, and so on and so forth. And that is especially true in the area this year's recipient is from. Too many successes to mention, especially today at this at our great gala. So I just want to iterate 2 or 3 things about the latest Louisiana news. They read something like this: Louisiana new frontier for opportunities, powerhouse in the making, the Pelican State continues to outperform the nation. I mean, it's really very, very excited to be here right now at this time with all of you. And as said, same goes for exports. We doubled the exports from 2009 to 2013, outperformed the U.S. Average by a large multiplier. So it's really through your help that the World Trade Center is more than an advocate for trade. We really, or I'm proud to say that we create jobs and wealth throughout international trade, economic development, and other activities, a mission that we are taking with pride as well as very serious. As said, we work in many areas, everything from trade that you can imagine, industry committees, research, education, speakers, trade programs, cultural mission, advocacy, and more. And as you know, we have been out there and promoting our state, our members, to make sure that we can benefit your companies. I'm sure you saw, I'm not sure if we have that, if we don't have, it's probably out there, a presentation of what we do, but David already mentioned some of the highlights that we were able to do, and so I know it's a gala, so I'm gonna keep it short, but I wanted to mention a couple of them. For example, one of them, we worked recently with friends together with the Big River Coalition, a very important research for our state. It's not announced yet, but we have done a study about the U.S. soybean market and how Brazil is currently a competition, and what the U.S. farmer can do to still gain that competitive advantage. We have started this year as well to really do some major alliances, one being in the World Trade Center Mississippi River Alliance that David mentioned earlier. We have partnered with, just 2 months ago, we partnered with about 50 mayors and 18 community funds along the Mississippi River to create a fund to really move forward in economic development and invest in that area. Similar goes with outreach. We have hosted in the last 3 years about 60 foreign ambassadors, foreign ministers, and many thanks of the honorary consuls that you just heard earlier. I mean, countries like France, Hong Kong, Israel, China, Spain, Malaysia, Singapore know about Louisiana, know about what we do. And the same goes for MOUs. Just recently, we signed an MOU with Exim Bank as being the second one in the state of Louisiana near Louisiana Economic Development. So we can offer their services also to small businesses. We partnered with OPIC, the Big River Alliance, U.S. Small Business Administration, and also with the Department of Energy on hydrogen and fuel cells. As David mentioned, and it really was to David's credit that we were launching 1 year ago the World Trade Center Executive Speaker Series. If you haven't attended, just very briefly, it's basically each quarter per year is one CEO of a Fortune 500 company coming in town and giving a direct insight to their industry as well as their business. This year we had folks, for example, like the CEO of Whole Foods, Chief Strategy Officer of Tyson Foods, Chief Operating Officer of Leidos, one of the largest defense companies. And next month we're going to have the CEO of Qantas Oil Services. That actually brings me kind of like as my, spin over to the future, because I think we have even more exciting things that we have in the future planned. And so please watch out for them. I just kind of mentioned 2 that I would like to announce today for the first time, and we worked hard on it, especially our team worked hard on it. The first being the New Orleans Arbitration Center. That gives local companies now the opportunity to handle international and national disputes locally and not in New York as well as in London. We think that's a huge success. The second one, as David mentioned, is we were able to get into a partnership with the Department of Energy, and we partnered on the International Partnership for Hydrogen and Fuel Cells in the Economy. Very long word, but basically we are now here in Louisiana through the World Trade Center. We will be the lead organization to host and administer the leading 17 international fuel cells departments in the world, who all of those countries produce about 80% of world's energy currently. So we're very humbled and very excited about the partnership. But that brings me to my closing remarks, and it's really that without all of you here in this room, this would not be possible. The World Trade Center is not a team, it's not 5 people, it's not the board of directors, it's really all of you. And so I would like to thank you one more time for being here today. Whether you're an investor, a sponsor, a member, or a guest, know that you're a friend, and that your commitment to the World Trade Center and to foster international trade and commerce guarantees the full economic potential to our state. But now talked enough about business. Please enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you.
That video summarizes just about everything. It's really well done. We showed that last year, but to encapsulate the history of the World Trade Center and everything that we're working on now is very hard to do. As many of you know, we're no longer involved with the building, so we really are standing alone on our mission without the revenue and the profit from the building side. We're no longer a real estate company, and so it's really changed things. We've had to unwind from that and go into a new world where we're mission-oriented, but with Dominic's leadership and the support from the board of directors and support from you as members, I think we're probably one of the leading World Trade Centers in the United States and certainly in the world. At this time, and that does deserve a round of applause. At this time, I want to introduce a good friend and my fellow colleague in our pro bono lives at the World Trade Center, Eddie Hayes. Eddie's the vice chair of the World Trade Center, so he's been my right hand for the last 2 years. He's also responsible for our Government Affairs Committee. Eddie has a unique ability as a lawyer to adapt between business and politics and actually being a lawyer. And Eddie, I don't know how you do it. Eddie's an international trade lawyer with Leake and Anderson, and since 2005, he served as a committee advisor on the Intergovernmental Trade Policy Office of the U.S. Trade Representative in Washington. It sounds like a lot of words, but that actually is really important. Eddie has served since 2007 as a member of the Louisiana District Export Council, working in conjunction with the U.S. Department of Commerce on its efforts to expand American exports. Eddie was just this year appointed to serve as honorary consul to the Ukraine for the state of Louisiana, and the timing of that appointment could not have been worse, because between a war and an air disaster and a number of other things, he served Ukraine well. So with that, I'd like to bring Eddie up and enjoy the rest of the program. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. David just used 2 words I'm not familiar with, pro bono. For free. Oh, for free, okay. Welcome everyone to the Louisiana International Trade Gala and our annual opportunity to honor the Dean of Louisiana International Trade, Mr. Eugene Schreiber. I'd like first, if I may, to welcome the members of the Schreiber family who are present here tonight, Jeremy and Cynthia, and invite them to please stand. Jeremy, it's my honor to deliver this award in Gene's honor. Thank you for being here. Gene served with the first Peace Corps group sent overseas by President John F. Kennedy, as you can see from the photos on the monitor. He was stationed in Tanzania at the ripe age of 23 and was present when colonial rule ended and that country first celebrated its independence. I still have a hard time looking at that photograph and believing that that's Gene. The Eugene J. Schreiber Award is reserved for an individual demonstrating an exemplary level of knowledge, leadership, and achievement in promoting international trade and diplomacy. We believe this year's recipient more than satisfies that criteria. More importantly, we know that Gene would agree. I first met our recipient while on business in Washington in 2009. And upon entering his office, I immediately noticed an international tax law book open on his desk. And of course, my immediate cynical reaction was that a devious staffer placed that book there and opened it to impress those of us coming in and out of his office. There's just no way a medical doctor would be reading a book that even I, as an international lawyer, wouldn't read. It's just impossible, right? I was wrong, and I have learned since that date that it was no trick. Our recipient has I was going to say a severe passion. Those of us in the trade community might call it a severe passion, but a significant passion for trade that goes well beyond the day-to-day work of promoting business in Louisiana. He has a genuine interest in the theory that underlies international trade in the United States and in American trade policy. His current committee assignment on the House Ways and Means Committee is absolutely crucial to our trade efforts here in Louisiana. But his work goes way beyond his committee assignment. If you'll bear with me, I'd like to mention a few of the issues that our recipient has championed in recent years. The first that I'd like to mention that I know is very important to those of us who live along this river corridor is his work in securing passage of the Water Resources Development Act, which is critical to ensure that our Mississippi River is sufficiently dredged to ensure that we can compete in the post-Panama Canal expansion world. Our recipient is also dedicated to fair and prosperous trade relations with China, which is Louisiana's #1 agricultural export market. And he is the co-chair of the U.S.-China Working Group, which is a bipartisan group, something I think Gene would appreciate. Our recipient has unwavering support for Louisiana's leadership in energy development, including key help in obtaining liquefied natural gas export licenses for 2 businesses based right here in Louisiana. He's also been a critical steward of the Trans-Pacific Partnership negotiations, another one of those buzz trade words that probably doesn't mean a lot from me sitting up here, but his work on the Trans-Pacific Partnership Caucus is going to make sure that our goods and services that are being exported into the world's fastest growing region are ensured preferential market access. He also led the fight to reauthorize the Export-Import Bank, which is responsible directly for thousands of Louisiana jobs, and that fight's going to continue once the reauthorization comes up again during the next quarter. And he's personally dedicated to the thousands of families and businesses of Louisiana's shrimp, rice, crawfish, sugar, and the various other industries in this state who struggle to preserve their culture and their way of life in the face of unfair import trade competition. That is a hard battle, and he has fought it all the way. I could obviously go on. Our recipient's trade record is extensive, but I'd like to mention one final item that I think is appropriate considering the venue that we're in here tonight. Our recipient is forcefully dedicated to Louisiana veterans. He has worked tirelessly to fund and create VA hospitals that adequately protect the health and safety of our servicemen and women, without whom international trade would not exist. Thank you. In sum, our recipient embodies everything that Gene Schreiber held in high regard: extensive knowledge and understanding of international trade policy, and unceasing work to ensure that international trade actually benefits the citizens of Louisiana and the citizens of this country. So it's my distinct honor and privilege on behalf of the World Trade Center of New Orleans to present the Eugene J. Schreiber Award to the Honorable Dr. Charles Boustany, Jr., Congressman from the 3rd District of the great state of Louisiana.
Thank you very much. Please sit down, please. Thank you. Eddie, thank you so much for the very kind introduction. I'll try to keep my remarks shorter than the introduction, okay? Eddie, you've been a great friend, and you've also provided a lot of wise counsel to me as I've embarked on this work on international trade on behalf of our state and our country. So I want to thank you for that, and I want to thank you for your friendship. Really appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, I am truly humbled and deeply grateful for this award. It means a lot to me. I'm blessed to have some of my family here with me tonight. My mother's here with my stepfather, Paul Hilliard, who is a veteran of World War II, and actually, he was a gunner in one of those planes, over 50 missions. And Paul served in the U.S. Marine Corps and, with honor and distinction, and is someone who has been a real leader in our oil and gas industry here in the state. So Paul, thank you for all you do. My sister Catherine from the New Orleans area is here. She's known to many of you with her husband Jeff, and I'm really appreciative that the two of you could be here tonight too. Thank you all. My wife Bridget's not with me tonight. She's tied up, and she sends her regards, and I wish she could be here because this is such a great, wonderful event. So she sends her regards. Anyway, you know, when I told Bridget back in 2013, December of 2013, that I was going to run for the United States Congress, she got really angry with me. And we literally argued for about 3 days. And finally, she said, you know, I've known you since we were on the campus at USL, and I know that you have a very hard head, and when you make up your mind, you're not going to let up, and you're going to do what you want to do no matter what. So she said, go ahead, run for Congress, and when you make a fool out of yourself, you get 15% of the vote. I hope we don't get run out of Lafayette, but I don't want to ever hear about this again. So I went to work, and I won. And I've been often asked, okay, how did a heart surgeon, a guy who spent all his time training and become a heart surgeon, get interested in international trade? I'm going to blame it on Dr. John Oxner, who's here tonight, my good friend, but John's been a mentor, and he really taught me a lot about life and surgery. But let me just say that I had 10 wonderful years here in the city of my birth, learning the art and craft of medicine. And John was truly a mentor and someone who really influenced my life. So John, it means a lot to me that you're here tonight too. Thank you. But when I took office, I realized that the most important thing that I can do is to work on policies that would help businesses grow, help grow this economy, help create prosperity, because we were losing our children and grandchildren to other states. It was a critical problem. And in fact, I remember when I took office, the unemployment rate here in Louisiana was about 5.8%. It was about the same as what we were seeing nationwide at the time. Since then, obviously, over the course of time, we've seen a real mess with the economy. We had a horrible recession in this country, global recession for that matter. Slow growth persists today globally and continues to pose a threat. And we have doggedly high unemployment all over in this country. But I'll tell you this, it's a great time to be in Louisiana. Absolutely. Louisiana's getting international attention, and it's good attention, the kind we want. And it's no accident. In Lake Charles, down in Calcasieu Parish and Cameron Parish, we have $80 billion in new investment on the table, including the single largest foreign direct investment in the history of the United States. Massive construction projects ongoing. All this is happening because of the renaissance in American energy production, combined with our ability to export in our ports and our harbors. We have the first 2 liquefied natural gas facilities that are currently under construction in the United States. A brand new development that's going to be geopolitically significant, helping free up some of our foreign policy initiatives. All this is happening right now. The low cost of energy inputs has led to another manufacturing renaissance in the petrochemical industry. And we are seeing exports of these products for the first time since the 1940s. This is happening here in our state, and we need to be very proud of that. And, of course, with the ports of South Louisiana, New Orleans, Lake Charles, and the extensive port system we have, arguably one of the largest port systems in the entire world, Louisiana is home to a lot of business activity. That's why we're getting international attention. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, Louisiana is a maritime state, and that is the source of our strength and our power. We rank consistently in the top 10 in exports, and by God, before I finish my congressional career, I want us to rank first in exports. But there's another statistic that we should be proud of. It's an export statistic. When you look at exports as a percentage of our state gross domestic product, it's at 25%. We are number 1 in that category. That is something that puts us on par with Germany with that type of percentage, which is pretty remarkable, because for the entire United States, it's down in the teens. This is a huge thing for our state, and we're underperforming. We're going to do better as we open markets and facilitate trade and build out our infrastructure even more to take advantage of it. In fact, when President Obama took office, his goal with regard to trade was to double exports in 5 years. We're far from getting to that point nationwide. Louisiana has doubled exports in 4 years, and we're going to stay on that trend. Our own local brands, down in my district, Tabasco, Bruce Foods, Metal Shark, have become well-known internationally, and there's so many others. We're only getting started, I can assure you. In fact, according to the Business Roundtable, trade-related employment in Louisiana grew nearly 3 times faster than total employment over the past several years. That's the kind of growth and opportunity we need throughout the rest of the United States. But I want to talk about something even more important than all of that, more important than the economic benefits of trade, which you all know and you participate in, and I want to thank you for the work that you do. Trade is essential to having a sound United States foreign policy. President John F. Kennedy linked the advancement of freedom around the world with trade, inspiring the Kennedy round of trade talks in the early 1960s, and this led to significant tariff reductions and trade expansion around the world. 2 decades later, President Reagan similarly connected trade to tides of human progress and launched the Uruguay round in 1986. I'll tell you today, the demand for American leadership is greater than ever before, with all the trouble we're seeing around the world. We're standing at the doorway of very critical times. Whether it's out in the East China Sea, South China Sea, Ukraine, the Middle East, you can go across the world, the economic woes around the world today. It is a very critical time. That's why the United States must engage and lead to project power, U.S. power, and enhance our national security through expanded global trade and investment. That's why we're going to do this. It is critically important. It's especially important here in this building tonight. We know that so many sacrificed their lives in World War II to give us a victory, to launch a 20th century that was the American century. If we're going to have an American century in the 21st century, we have to lead in this effort. And I can tell you the first step in all of this is to heed the important lesson of the 1930s. We know that our economic security and our national security are linked. And that's why trade is critically important. Trade is the key to all of this. And if we don't really actively engage in all the things that we need to do to promote this, we will not provide the kind of American leadership that's needed around the world. This is our time. We have to take advantage of it. Trade is good for Louisiana, it's good for the United States, and it will promote American leadership. Now, I believe that the United States must continue to promote a very active strategic trade policy that seeks out untapped markets. That's why we're moving forward on the Trans-Pacific Partnership and the transatlantic agreements that we're currently negotiating. But we have to use trade strategically to promote our diplomatic interests and for development. And I want to see Louisiana continue to play a leadership role in this. As I said earlier, trade is central to our U.S. foreign policy. But trade, if you think about it, it enables American business to be the point of the spear, the true point of the spear as we project our soft power around the world. That's how we win. And that will save us from having to send troops around the world. We'll have strong national security because of our military, but we'll be even stronger because we can project soft power through the work that you all do through international trade. So, that's why it's vital for Louisiana to be a leader in trade. That's why Louisiana will be a leader in trade. And ladies and gentlemen, that's why I'm standing here in this room with all of you, continuing to commit to be a loud, consistent champion for an aggressive, Louisiana-centric agenda that focuses on trade on Capitol Hill. So again, thank you again for giving me this tremendous honor. It's great to be with you, and God bless you all.
Ladies and gentlemen, please sit down. I've asked the Congressman to remain on stage very briefly to receive an additional recognition. And to do that honor, I would like to introduce and welcome to the stage past chairman of the World Trade Center and the Executive Vice President and Treasurer of Ochsner Health System, Mr. Bobby Brannon.
And I'm going to deviate just a little bit and ask Dr. John Ochsner to come with me, because I know that these two are very special for each other. And as you heard earlier, and Dr. John Ochsner and our Congressman are very special people to all of us, as you've heard. But we have an honor today that is the highest honor that the World Trade Center can bestow. And the Order of the Plimsoll Mark the World Trade Center's highest honor, is reserved for heads of state, cabinet ministers, ambassadors, and other visiting dignitaries for their contributions to world peace, trade, and understanding. Recipients of the award include Presidents Ronald Reagan, George H.W. Bush, and Mikhail Gorbachev, Secretary of State Henry Kissinger and Madeleine Albright, and numerous ambassadors from other nations during their visits to the World Trade Center. It is with pleasure that we present Congressman Boustany with this honor.
Look at me. Thank you.
You taught me leadership.
Thanks, Eddie.
Thank you.
Bear with me just 1 minute. I can find the script and we'll continue on. I would now like to bring up to the stage for our live auction a special guest. He's one of Southeast Louisiana's most familiar faces, one that folks have been waking up with for over 15 years in the country's #1 rated local morning newscast. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Eric Paulson.
Eddie, thank you very much. Isn't it great to be here in the World War II Museum? This is the most fantastic museum. And it's only getting bigger and better all the time. You know, they asked me to do this tonight, and when Pat Denishow called me, she said she'd twist my arm. She really did. But anyway, we've got some great auction items that we're auctioning off tonight. When I say great, I mean really great. And so the whole idea behind this is you want to bid high and bid often. So the first is an 8-bedroom lodge, 3 days, 2 nights in Stewart Lodges at Stillwood in Loxley, Alabama. So this is pretty cool. By the way, the silent auctions board's going to close at 9:30, at least I think Board B. Board A is now closed. Board B will close pretty soon. Let me see what the auction price on this is. Not that I'm not prepared. By the way, I think at halftime, LSU was losing 10-0. Well, there's still the other half to go. Finish strong. Oh, no, that's the Saints, which they haven't been doing lately. Oh, kidding. Come on. It's going to be a good game Sunday in the Dome. Thank you very much. At least we have some Saints fans in the audience. All right, are we starting off with the artwork first? Did I screw up? Okay. Let's go right with this. Again, an 8-bedroom lodge, 3 days, 2 nights. What's the minimum bid on this one? Does anybody know? $2,000, thank you very much. That's our first bid, $2,000. Who wants to go $2,100? You know, do you all understand how an auction works? I could explain it to you, but look in the program, somebody's got to bid. So we're at $2,000, we need $2,100. $2,100 for 8-bedroom lodge, 3 days, 2 nights in Loxley, Alabama. And Loxley, if you haven't been there, is a beautiful place. Yes, you may. Would she come up? Is Jenny Campbell here? Here we go. Thank you very much. Let me tell you what, this is a $4,800 value. It includes, as you said, 3 days, 2 nights, up to 16 people. There's a deluxe continental breakfast. And let me tell you what, you can't see the picture from here, but it's gorgeous. And you can take it, I think, whenever you want. It expires in a year. So think about it hard, not too long. Oh,
Hi, Eric. Jenny.
Jenny, thank you. Tell them what it is.
Yeah. If I could, I'd like to explain to you. It sits on 1,200 acres with a 250-acre lake. It's set up as a private corporate retreat center. We have 2 conference rooms with AV equipment where you can have your business meetings and have total privacy and exclusivity. We also have a 36-hole golf course that was designed by Jerry Pate. It's ranked 2nd in the U.S. and, I'm sorry, 5th in the U.S. and 2nd in the state of Alabama. It's a beautiful place to have your corporate retreat or even a family gathering meeting. You also get an executive chef that will cook your meals for you.
Okay, now you know it's more than just a couple of nights in Loxley, Alabama. There's an executive chef, there's golf, there's 1,200 acres. It's a beautiful place. Does somebody want to bid on this, or do I got to come out and twist somebody else's arm? Good Lord, people. Thank you. How much? 25? Oh, you're good. How much? 21. 21, thank you. See, he understands what an auction is all about. Apparently the rest of you need some help. All right, 2,100. Do I have 22? 22, thank you very much. 22 over there. That table's alive. That's very good. 22. 23. I've got 22 over there. Do I go to 23? 23. 23. 24. Back in the back under final mission. 24. 25. Talk it over. There's an executive chef. There's golf. There's 1,200 acres. It's beautiful. You can bring 15 of your friends. I've got 24 over there. Want to go 25? 24. By final mission, 24 once, 24 twice, sold for $2,400. Thank you. Our next auction item, if we can bring that up on the stage, is a beautiful piece of art. Virginia Lee's a local artist. Although never trained in art, she is inspired by her love for New Orleans and its history. Her storyboards are designed to express the interactions between the people who live in this area and this city. Virginia Lee's work can be seen at the Frenchman Street Art Market. And you know, I do not know what the bid on this is, but it should be high. The minimum bid is $1,000. The frame alone would be like $1,100. Have you had stuff framed lately? And it's got all the cutouts? All right, so I need $1,000. It's the original World Trade Center. There's artwork for the gala. It is beautiful down there. Who said 1,000? Thank you, 1,000. Thank you very much. Do we have 1,100? 1,100. I have 1,000 over there. I need 1,100. 1,100. Can somebody wake up the rest of the room? I have 1,000. This is beautiful. That actually is the original gala artwork, I'm told. So that makes it worth at least $1,100. I'm at $1,000. $1,000. Boy, you guys are a tough house. Do I have to break the other arm? 1,000. 1,000 going once. 1,000 going twice. Uh-oh. 1,200. See, they understand. 1,200. Do I have 13? 13 back in the back. Do you want to go? 1,200 once. 1,200 twice. Sold for $1,200. Thank you very much. Our final one's a big one. How many of you have been to Italy? Try to contain your enthusiasm, it's just a party. Tuscany is one of the most gorgeous places on the face of the earth. And you can have a private farmhouse villa in Tuscany. The value on this is priceless. The package includes 7 nights for 8 people in a 4-bedroom, 4-bathroom, authentic Tuscany farmhouse. It includes a vineyard visit, a wine tasting, and a welcome and a farewell dinner with a private chef in Tuscany. If you ever wanted to impress anybody in your life, you will bid on this one. This is, as I said, is priceless. Our minimum bid is $7,600, but for a week in Tuscany, that is a bargain. And for what comes with this, it's a steal. So we start the bidding at $7,600. Do we have $7,600 in the house? Can some of you get together and raise $7,600? Good God. Does anybody want to bid on this? Can we lower it? Maybe it's a low budget crowd. Do we have anybody that wants to bid on the Tuscany retreat for 1 week? 1 week in Tuscany. Well, thank God. Thank you very much. How much you bidding on? $7,600. You're not bidding $7,600? You're bidding $2,000? Well, I think the minimum bid was $7,600, but let me see if I can get you the Walmart deal. And you have 1 year to go. All right, I've got the Walmart price at $2,000, but the minimum bid is $7,600. But I would like to sell it to you then for that, because I would bid $21,000. Can we go? Let me ask you, can we go any lower on this? We cannot go lower. Well, guess what, folks? No, not $2,500. $7,600 is the minimum bid. 76. Margarita, tell them what do I? 76? Thank you very much. Thank you. She deserves a round of applause. The rest of you people? All right. Do we have 7,700? Well, let's not beat a dead horse. 76. You want to bid against yourself? Okay. 76 going once. 76 going twice. Sold for $7,600. Thank you very much. And thank you all so much for bidding tonight. By the way, Delphio Marcellus and his band are coming up. Let me tell you what, you're in for a nice treat. He's wonderful. Thank you all for coming tonight.